I hated who I was, and I hated my life.
I fought with it for a long time.
They beat me up for no reason. I felt like I didn't belong in my own family.
I never thought I would have problems at my job.
It was alright for me to put on the uniform until they found out I was gay.
I'm happy with who I am.
We all deserve respect.
Well, I just want to take a minute to talk about why I stand with B2M and Be Busy. Pretty much before I came around, or before I started volunteering at Be Busy, Wellness Center, and joined part of B2M, I wasn't, I guess, per se, comfortable in my own skin. But now that I come around and I have my B2M brothers, you know, just being around them all the time, I've become more comfortable and wish that I had somewhere to go, you know, around when I was younger or as a kid, to just talk to people or be around people my age that were going through the same things that I might have been going through as a kid. I really didn't experience the things that some of my other members of B2M experienced, but I do feel their pain. So I just want to take the time to thank B2M and especially Be Busy for bringing my awareness to my attention.
I felt like I didn't belong in my own family. But now it's changed. My family has accepted me. I still get some resistance from a few family members, the religious few, that think that will never accept it. There's nothing I can say, nothing I can do. I can't prove anything. They're going to always have a problem with it. It took my parents a while to get used to it, but when they realized that my sexuality was actually minute of who I was, that it didn't define me as a man, it was much easier for my father especially to actually accept it. But like I said, you know, back home, I still get a lot of resistance from family. Still some friends I've lost because of my sexuality. So, well, I'm especially proud of my bosses to allow us to put on this movement, this conference that we're actually having. And I said this in a video before, this is not a conference for myself or for B2M or for Be Busy, it's a conference for the community, for those voices of those people that feel lost, that they don't have a voice. It's for the support that they need. This particular community has never really asked what they want. It's a lot that's been shoved down our throats, and we have to accept it. But this is going to be a time for you to actually voice your opinions and say what you need to say and feel how you need to feel. They have to understand it. Times are changing and people are going to have to get on board that we're here, we're not going anywhere. They're going to have to accept us regardless.
Do you accept you?
Oh, a long time ago. I love every bit of who I am. It took me a while to get to this point. It wasn't easy accepting who I was, but once I realized the same thing that my parents had to realize, that my sexuality didn't define me as a man, it was much easier to accept who I am. I don't have a problem with it. Feminine, not, it doesn't matter. I am excited, I'm happy, I'm very festive with it, actually, so, and that's that. But I'm really happy now. I wasn't always, but I'm very happy now.
Hello, I'm Kobe. Let's see, question was posed how I feel. I've heard a lot of my brothers say that they faced a lot of trials and tribulations and, you know, discriminatory acts towards their sexuality in terms of being, you know, discriminated against at their workplace or in society, et cetera, et cetera. That isn't my personal story, but I know a lot of people can relate to my personal story because I didn't go through the being tormented or abused because of my sexuality. Indeed, I really didn't even come out until I was about 23. And when I did come out, I had a very supportive support system in terms of like my family, my friends, et cetera, et cetera. I say that to say that there doesn't have to necessarily be a specific architecture to one's sexuality, meaning you can be gay and be soft, or you can be gay and be hard, but being gay is not a determining factor of you being a human being. Being gay is just as normal as you being black or something. I think you should embrace being gay. You should embrace being straight. Embrace being a human being. I feel human nature is not embraced nearly enough as other qualities and characteristics of our personal selves are embraced. In fact, I feel like our human nature is the most unnatural tapped resource that we don't really go into. So the way I feel about a lot of things, I feel like be you. Be happy, be strong, be determined, be a driving force behind whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is you want to be, and be great.
Hi, I'm Joel Berryman, and I'm one of the core members of B2M. And when I think back of who I am today, one word comes to mind, an overcomer. I had a rough childhood. I've been molested, beaten for just being me. Everywhere I went, every which way I turned, I was in a situation where it was some type of abuse that was going on, lost, hurt, and confused. But something in me was determined to be an overcomer. I went through school with the lowest self-esteem ever, tried to commit suicide a couple times, hated who I was in the mirror. I don't know about you, but when I looked at myself in the mirror, I seen the pain, I seen the hurt, I seen the confused, lost boy with no hope. And every time I looked in the mirror, that's what I seen. And going into college, I was still seeing that same boy abused, hurt, big. Everything that I thought of myself was so of no self-worth. But I graduated from high school and I went to college and I found a purpose in life. I found my inner beauty. And I came up with a little self-esteem thing to help me out. And so every morning I used to wake up and say positive things to myself in the mirror. And it made me actually start believing in the things that I was saying. Because in the beginning I thought I'm sitting here lying to myself, saying that I'm a handsome man. But I said that every single day and it built my self-esteem up. And of course you deal with issues time and time again in life, but I always go back to my mirror. Even today, I still have to look in my mirror sometimes and speak those positive things into my life. Overcomer. While I was in college, I had some specific goals that I wanted to do. I wanted to be an SGA president. And I know you had to be liked, and you had to be thin, and you had to be sexy. You had to give an appeal to what people would like you. But I wasn't liking myself, so I said I need to start there first. I wanted to be a member of a prestigious fraternity. I knew that you had to be liked. It's a like thing to get in. You have to be liked. And I'm like, well, I wasn't liked in high school. I don't like myself. So how are they going to like me? So those are things that I had to change my whole perception of who I was. So I had to start with myself first and see those things in me. Just because I was gay, just because I was abused, those things could not stop my life. So I started speaking those positive things and I started achieving those things. I became the SGA president at Wiley College. And going through that was still struggles. I still got told no. And I'm not going to say those things didn't tear me down at the time, but I still kept pushing forward. That's why I say overcomer. I'm a member now of a prestigious organization called Kappa Alpha Psi 1911. You know, Yo Newt. But that struggle was a lot to get there. I went through a pledge process 5 times, got told no 5 times, and kept going back because I'm an overcomer. I want to achieve. And I knew if I want something, I'm going to have to work a little bit harder. I'm going to have to be a little bit better. And I'm not saying at times I'm ready to give up because why does it have to be so hard? But I understand this, that if I keep believing in myself, if I keep telling those things, positive things into my life, I will overcome and I will achieve. So when you look at me as a member of B2M, look at me as an overcomer.
I'm happy with being me. I love living my life. Not gonna take shit from nobody. It's just the way I am. Anybody's got a problem with me, so it's on them. They ain't probably got a problem with me being gay, it's on them. Don't care. My family accepts me for me. I accept me for me. That's it. I knew I was gay. I mean, there was no problem with it. But me, I always knew. The biggest problem for me was, like I said, telling them, telling my parents. Because I can remember this one time. My mom came to my house. Still 18, still living in my own house. Mom came to my house. Had a boy hide in the closet. Just so she wouldn't find out. Coming out to my parents was the biggest deal for me. It wasn't a big deal for them. They accepted me, but it was a big deal for me. Me coming to them to tell them that I was gay, I kind of took that as a challenge. It wasn't for them, but like I said, but it was for me. I guess it was me becoming me. Me accepting who I am.
About 2 weeks after graduation, I decided to join the United States Marine Corps. Now, by any means, I was not a rebellious kid. It's just that I felt as though I needed to do something more with my life. Going in the Marine Corps, I've heard stories of gay individuals joining and being taught or, made them feel some kind of way, but me, I never thought, it's 2008 at the time. I never thought it would happen. I was wrong. Boot camp wasn't easy. It's like when you're gay, it's like an odor people smell. It's like the lions just feast on it. They feel it, they want to just attack. And it's kind of overwhelming sometimes. So boot camp for me wasn't easy. Once I got into the fleet, I became my own person. And I realized that I had 4 years of this. And I couldn't let one person or many people's perception of what gay was be me. And I had to be me. I had to find who I was. I had to just reach deep down and see, Dominique, that's not you, what they want you to be. Be who you are. And from that point on, it changed a lot. It just rattled my mind how much people didn't know what gay was. People grew up with the perception of gay from TV or radio or films. Basically, men who have sex with men that are really feminine, and that's wrong. In my definition, I believe the gay community is like high school. You got your jocks, cheerleaders, your A students, you got your gothic, same categories, but for the gay community. A jock could be someone like me. I may not look or talk gay, but I'm gay. And once I explained that to them, it's like a whole new chapter came into their lives. I had so many people, males preferably, tell me that, man, before I met you, I thought that, all gays were this, or I was homophobic, and, I used to beat up kids like you, but now I have respect for a man of your stature, and that's all I want is respect from people. Everyone needs respect, and that's just how the cookie crumbles.
So if you were to look at me today, you might look at a person that you think is, pretty confident, pretty happy, pretty satisfied with, where I am, my life. But you might be surprised to know that I haven't always been this content with who I am. I look back at the last, 10, 15 years of my life, and I could probably say I could count on both hands, how many times I may have considered suicide, thought about, kind of leaving, running away, moving to a different state, starting a whole new life, just really escaping all of who I was and trying to forget, the people that I knew, the family that I had, because for a long time I hated who I was. I hated my life. I hated everything about me that people saw that I was. When I really started to dive into my personal life, as far as actually accepting the fact that I was gay, and I started doing things like hanging around other people that were gay. I was introduced to things like, drugs. I had a lot of friends that did drugs, had a lot of friends that sold their bodies and prostituted for money. And so for a moment there, I almost got pulled into those things, right? And I started to become very careless about what I was doing. I didn't care about who I slept with. I didn't care about who I was hanging around. I didn't care about any of that because at that time, I didn't care about me. I hated who I was, remember? I hated my life, so I didn't care what happened to my life. I didn't care what happened to me. At that point, it was like, if you don't care, if they don't care, then why am I going to care? And for a few years, I was just kind of walking around in this darkness. Like, I was just here. I wasn't, mentally, I wasn't mentally here, but physically, I was just here. And it wasn't until I actually got into this field of HIV prevention and outreach and kind of was introduced to the people that I was introduced to at Be Busy that I really began to realize that my life has a deeper purpose. There's a reason why through all of what I've been through, I've still managed to come out smiling, come out on top, be able to come out of all those situations and say, you know what, at the end of the day, I'm kind of happy now with who I am. And B2M is a product of that empowerment. B2M is a product of me being able to come into Be Busy and come into this place where all of what I felt, all of what I thought was me, everything that I had taken on to myself and owned does not have to be that fate. It doesn't have to be my fate. I can redesign my future for what it is that I think is best for me and not look at the fact of, because, so many people before, counted me out. So many people before, said that I was doomed, whether it be doomed to hell, doomed to become HIV positive, doomed to, be whatever it is that stereotypically a black gay male is to become. That does not have to be my fate. That doesn't have to be me. And once I began to realize that, I was then able to be happy with who I am. I was then able to say that I love my life. So I can only wish and only hope that every young gay male has that opportunity to live long enough to be able to appreciate and embrace who they are and understand that being gay does not have to be a weakness for you, and that you should not allow anyone to make you being gay a weakness for you, because it's not that. All right? Thank you.